Hey, welcome back. I thought I'd do a quick follow-up and go over briefly how I tackle Act 1 speed runs with my skill set and my gear, and then check on the auction house real quick and see if there's any sort of results from some of those sales. I went through maybe like 9 or 10 items that I sold from that identification process, but there were a couple still up there that I haven't looked in on yet since getting back from work today. So, start up here real quick with the skills. Stats are big enough now, I really don't have to worry about dying, so I'm prioritizing DPS for Act 1. For that reason I have 3 DPS skills, the Hydra, the Arcane Torrent, and the Blizzard. So 2 of them are hit it and forget it damage spells, as I say, from WoW references for anyone out there. When I got an elite pack on me, first thing I'll put down a Hydra with the best line of sight towards my targets for the longest amount of foreseeable future. And then lay down a Blizzard in front of me when they get close, because I'll just face tank everything. I don't need to worry about damage or anything. And then I'll just machine gun start into the Torrent. My Arcane Torrents only cost me 5 Arcane Power because of a reduction from my gear and the fact that this tooltip is wrong and they only cost you 10, not 20. And then I have pretty decent Arcane Power on crit from gear as well. So really, it's hard to run out, basically. And then my Blizzard is snowbound, making them only 20, so if I need to lay down multiple ones, I can do that, no problem. And since I'm just face tanking things, I don't need the increased damage radius, the radius or anything. So, Arcane Torrent's a very undervalued skill. Really briefly, I'll just mention, since I have a decent amount of life on hit on my character, the coefficient for Arcane Torrent is 20% per missile per target, and there's 3 missiles just from a single cast. So 60% if you're only spamming on one target, 120 for 2, 180 for 3. So it gets pretty ridiculous pretty quick. Diamond skin, I'll generally go until I'm at like 50% life, and then I'll pop it, and things are generally dead by then. If not, if it's going to be something like a health link, which is going to be just a little bit longer to kill, I'll pop it right away, and then there's a chance it'll be up again if I need it. Other than that, everything else here is just boosting my stats. Prismatic armor being what tops off my resist all around a 910 average when it's active, and then I've got 12% damage from familiar, 15 from glass cannon, 20 from cold-blooded, 15 from every hit after the first on my Arcane Torrent, and then also a 10% damage every 3 seconds for 3 seconds from my Scoundrel, which basically like a 50% uptime, so a 5% constant damage increase if you want to average things out. So a lot of modifiers, and a brief look at the skills, I guess, my numbers. Sitting around 48, 49. When the Scoundrel pops his boost, then I'm up to like 53. I'm going to be probably wanting to replace the amulet and a helm and one of my rings and boots pretty quickly here. They're pretty outdated pieces, and I've been able to afford some better stuff lately. Just got a new offhand, because I want some. I'm trying to switch to a little bit more Arcane Power on crit so that I can afford to get rid of this Arcane Torrent specific affix on my helm, and just move to Arcane Power on crit instead, because I'd really like a better helm. So, yeah. My critical hit damage is really low compared to where it needs to be, or I guess you could view it glasses half full, half empty. Maybe my crit chance is too high compared to my crit damage, but they should be in about a 1 to 10 ratio. 1 crit chance, 10 crit damage, to get the most effect mathematically from them because of the synergy they provide. Life per hit's just over 700, but I have a really low number on my amulet and a low number on my weapon. So while I have paid for those affixes, I'm not really getting the bang for my buck out of them. They're low rolls. So that 700 could easily be 12 or 1300 if I just had high rolls on the weapon and the amulet. And then I could do without, I think, yeah, I have a small roll on this ring. So yeah, nothing too special, just a lot of damage reduction and mitigation, and then pretty respectable DPS, way more than need for Act 1. So I'm able to do full clears of, I start with the watchtower, and just restart that game until I get a watchtower spawn, and then I'll go, generally have, there are 1 to 2 elite packs or champions on the actual Northern Highlands map, very close to the watchtower, and then anywhere from like 1 to 6 inside the watchtower, plus a resplendent chest. Then I'll go over to Festering Woods, where there's guaranteed 2 inside the 2 dungeons, in addition to 1 to 3 plus a possible event on the Festering Woods map. And then over to the Cemetery of the Forsaken for the 3 dungeons there, and there can be 1 to 2 champs or elites on the actual cemetery grounds as well. And then over to Leoric's Manor, and you might get 1 inside and then maybe 2 outside in the courtyard. And then Halls of Agony, Cursed Hold, Halls of Agony 3, and then the Butcher. And those runs I've gotten down to really close to 40 minutes, and that is with picking up blues. That is with me being anal, coming back, salvaging the level 60 blues that are worth less than 500 gold apiece, just so I can make a minor profit on the essences that after the auction house cut I can maybe get 700 for. So I'm still being a little too meticulous on that front than I should be, considering my sales are now in the 7 figures, 6 to 7 figures very comfortably. So I can pretty much try and cut myself of that bad habit, picking up blues pretty soon here. Just a bad habit to break. So log over to the auction house here and we'll take a look. I currently have a weapon up for 27 million, and I think I forget if it's either boots or gloves up for like 8 million. And those are the kind of things that I'm hoping are selling. I bought a ton of stuff and loaned it out to a friend. So my actual cash gold balance is really low right now, but actually it's closer to 30 million liquid right now. Okay, the boots are still up for 7.5, and the gloves are still up for 8. Ooh, does that? Yeah, weapon sold. Okay, so 27 million minus 15%. Yeah, 22.5, almost 23. So that definitely helps out. So now I'm more like 50 something liquid when I call back in those loans. So that's a good feeling when you sell something that big. This Prophecy Chasm, this wand, it wasn't a drop. I didn't find it. I didn't identify it. You're like, hey, I didn't see that in the last video. This was on the auction house on this really silly, this stupid interface that Blizzard has done. Recommended items. That's the default page shown when you go to your search field. And I'd really love to know what kind of bearing, what kind of filters they're applying in order to tell you what are recommended, what that means to them. Because you'll get everything from absolute pieces of shit that do not match up at all to your gear. All I can really tell is your primary stat. Is so long as the primary stat is better than what you currently have equipped, the game will consider it an upgrade. So, and I'm just assuming that they mean upgrade is a synonym for recommended, but who doesn't, right? So, anyway, that wand was down here on the bottom randomly on this recommended page, and I don't know why, but just caught my eye for a second. It was a bid. I won it on a bid, and it was, I believe it was 9 million? No, what was it? I don't remember. Prophecy Chasm, 17. Okay, yeah, it was 17. But I went and turned around. The thing was, it was being sold with an empty socket, and it didn't have natural crit. It was 968 DPS, 10% increased attack speed, 90 intellect, 89 dodge, and a socket. And so that just screamed out to me, buy it and sell it. Because people aren't seeing that weapon when they filter for crit damage, which is really essentially what everyone's looking for in their weapon. So I just bought it. I put a crit damage gem in there, 70%, a really cheap one. And no, I didn't. I think I put an 80 in there. No, I put a 70. And so it was only what 200,000, something like that. So for a 17.6 bid, and so for under 18 million, I then turned it around for 23. So just a really quick 5 million profit. Unfortunately, that 15% auction house cut really bites in enormously when you're dealing with larger numbers. You know, I mean, the auction house just got a 4 million gold cut from me, when the rest of some of the stuff I've been selling is, you know, just chump change. It's sales tax compared to that. So, but all these solds here over the last 24 hours were things from the identifying session from all the other videos. So, couple items that were at or above 1 million, close to 1 million, and then one big ticket buy sell item here. Okay, I should have another inventory full of items here in the next day, and hopefully put up some more videos. Alright, thanks for watching.